All right. This is pretty rad. I need to expand this just a little bit. Okay. I think we're good. I think I'm live. So that's good news. So I'm Joshua Kemble. This is my live stream. And I have a really interesting stream today. It's going to be a lot different than my usual streams. What I have been working on my stream so far has been working on Two Stories Book 2, which is the sequel to Two Stories Book 1. And I've gotten a lot of pages done. I've gotten like the entirety of Book 2 thumbnailed. I can show you guys. Hold on, let me grab those. So on these streams, right, like I've thumbnailed like the entirety of Book 2. I'm going to try to grab it, which is like this, right? Like all of this. I have like the entire book thumbnailed out. I have the entire book scripted out. And then and these are comics that I draw, I write, I hand letter, all of that. And I'm like 26, actually 25 pages in to like final pages, which is like on a stack that I don't have the time to really get and show you guys, but if you're curious, you can look on my Instagram and like check out the process there. I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead. Who am I? I'm a cartoonist, illustrator. This is just for people who are new, people who follow the stream. I appreciate you guys. Bear with me. I got to do my pitches and explain for new viewers like who I am and what I'm doing on this stream. So basically, I have made a lot of progress on Book 2 of Two Stories. I'm a graphic novelist. I work professionally as an art director, and I have a really long commute and also a family and all of that stuff. So when I'm not doing that stuff, what I'm working on is graphic novels. And this year has been a really successful year for me, where last year, Two Stories Book 1 came out, which was my first published graphic novel. This book talks really openly and I'd say really vulnerably about my journey with dealing with depression, and also like growing up as a comic book geek, and like the weirdness of like Christian schools, and also caregiving for somebody with panic disorder. So like that was my first book. My second book just got a publishing deal this year, and that's coming out in June, and that's Jacob's Apartment, which is a comic book about these two characters. Jacob, the main character, is sort of losing his faith as he's kind of dealing with his the death of his father, and Sarah is sort of reeling from a lost, broken relationship. And so as they're kind of dealing with these young adult kind of issues, they also start finding a common bond and end up having interweaving dreams and lives. Okay, so that's my books. You can pre-order this at graphicmundi.org, and you should. You should also go to your local bookshop. This one's distroed by Diamond, so you should be able to go to like Barnes and Noble or anywhere and ask that they carry this book. And I'd encourage you and appreciate if you do, because that helps me out, as well as Two Stories you can buy right now. You can buy this book on Amazon, and it's a book I'm really proud of. And obviously, I'm going to finish Book 2 when I can. But this year, I've talked about this on stream before, but my sister also has written a script like years ago that was brilliant. Like, it's an amazing script. It's a historical fiction book about Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and kind of takes this angle of like this untold story about her obsession with spiritualists and like seances and stuff like that. And so we ended up getting a publishing deal for that, and that's good news. And so now I'm in a scenario where I have to put Two Stories Book 2 on hold for a little bit and really start the process of working on this book. I have about 365 days to do about 234 pages. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I kind of think it's possible. I've broken it down, and what I need to do is really just start cranking on the roughs. And I've already started just a tad bit. Like, there's a lot of preparation, and this is where I think these streams are going to be really cool. A lot of these early streams, as I'm working on this book, this is a book that I'm working on from a script that was written by my sister. It just got through rounds of edits, and it just came. Gary said that math is still horrifying. Yeah, I'm a little freaked out about it myself. So um, yeah, so like I think it's doable. I think it's feasible, and I think that like one of the things that I like to do as an illustrator or an artist is to kind of try to break down and back plan things. And so I usually have this initial reaction of like freak out, like this is impossible. How do you do this? And then I'll break it down and kind of make it happen. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Here's the catch. As I'm doing thumbnails, which I'm going to try to do during streams, and keep in mind these are going to be um, less of a stream where I have a lot of guests on when I'm doing the thumbnail stage, just because of the fact that I have to do a heavy amount of research as I'm doing the thumbnails, because this is a book that's about people who actually existed in a time period that it's hard to kind of ascertain. Like, I mean, page one, and I'll be showing you guys this, but page one of this script is on a sailboat. It has Elizabeth Barrett Browning's brother, and it's an action sequence on a sailboat, but it's a Victorian sailboat, and it's a one sail sailboat, and it takes place in a specific location in, like, I think Europe. And so I have to research all that before I even can put pen to paper and start sketching. So what I'm going to try to do is just thumbnail this out and just tackle it a page at a time. Thumbnails are just for anybody who's not familiar. I mean, I know Frank and Gary are like very. Frank, actually, welcome. Frank's in the chats. He said, "I just got back from a chicken plate sale. I'm exhausted, so I'm taking a break." That's awesome. Well, welcome, Frank. But I have to say, I think this is going to be a really fascinating process, and I think, really weirdly enough, I think this will be really fun for you guys to watch these streams as they're going, because you're literally going to learn a lot about the Brownings on the stream. And also, I'm going to probably like crowdsource a little bit. Like, if I'm looking for something, and you guys, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm looking for like a one sail sailboat online from like 1840, and somebody happens to provide me a link to what that looks like, oh my gosh, you're helping me out. You're taking away like hours of research for me. So I'm going to be doing this. Scott also said, "What's the over under that Josh will complete all the pages in time, and B, do it while retaining his sanity?" So yeah, that's the thing, is like, I really, at this point, I really have to crank and do these thumbnails. So what I've done is I've set up my streams, I think, in a way that will be really interesting for this process, because a lot of this is going to be me just doing Google searches before I can before I can even put pen to paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get moving on it. But the neat thing is, and this is the cool thing, there's a couple things that I'm really excited about this. Let me find them, because I've been kind of just reeling and trying to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? Like, it's a really intimidating process, because I'm not like full time at home where I can like work on comics all day. I have a full time job, and then I'm working on comics, about 4 to 5 hours a night, which is already pretty taxing. So how am I going to do this has been like a big thing. So I'm still, if I seem a little sort of disorganized, it's me kind of figuring out the process here. So let me see if I can find something that I think you guys will find helpful. Okay. So here's the cool thing. West Margin Press is the publisher that's going to be putting this out. That gave my sister and I a deal. Olivia, our editor, got the final edits with my sister. So now ball's in my court. They were aiming for, they're a little early on it, which is cool. So that buys me a little more time to make the pages. The great thing about West Margin is I think they're a subsidiary of Ingram. And I'm not talking like Ingram Spark. I'm talking like Ingram. Like, so that's good because that means like they're gonna have like sales reps at like big box chain stores. Like they're gonna push this book. Like this book will be everywhere. So now it's really on me. Like I have a good publisher. They're familiar with the Browning stuff. Like they've published Browning stuff as well. And here's the thing: they're also forward-thinking publishers. So they're okay with me kind of sharing the process as long as I'm not like giving away everything. So here's the fun part is I've set this up and let me throw it out to how I've set it up. Ooh, okay, there we go. So I've set this up so that if you look below me, I'm going to have sections of the script that I'm thumbnailing, right below me. And then right here is going to be what I'm researching and looking up, and I'm just going to live stream as I'm doing it and talk through the process. And I think it'll be pretty exciting. Jim asked, am I night ganging tonight? I might be. I'm probably going to be live streaming a lot because I want to live stream during this process for multiple reasons. One is I like hanging out with you guys and it keeps me company. The other is it's just a way to promote the book before it's out. And so you guys can see this crazy process of making like 230 pages in 365 days. And we'll see if we make it. I'm pretty sure we will. So what I'm going to do is basically, and then I have, oh my goodness. I have all sorts of research and stuff pulled up too, so that as I'm looking up things online to find specific bits, you guys will be able to kind of follow along too and kind of see the type of research that I'm having to do. I think this will be beneficial too for people who are getting into illustration or cartooning because it's like this is the process that you go through in illustrating. And then this is also the process that's like absolutely necessary for illustrating historical fiction, which is something I've always wanted to do. And now I, like it or not, I'm doing it. So let me go through like kind of the conundrum and what I'm trying to work out right now. And as I'm doing these streams too, I'm going to kind of dip out every once in a while. If I walk off screen for a second, don't worry, I'm not ending the stream. I'll be right back. So yeah, so that's basically where it's at. I don't know if you guys find that interesting or not, or like there's things about the format that don't work for you. Yeah, that's totally good. And then I'll say like, once I am done with that, I'm going to get to this lovely page where you'll be able to see me start working these things out. So as I gather like research, and find like the sections that I need and like the images that I need and stuff like that, I'm probably just going to drag them into Photoshop. So you're going to see this just like chaotic amount of layers of just tons of references that I'm going to have so that I can kind of be free enough to just do a thumbnail. So yeah, this should be pretty exciting. Jake also said, no night ganging without me and Mama Soto. That's true. Hi, Jake. How's it going? So we got Jake too in the chat. So I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be a fun process. I'm going to disappear for like 2 seconds, and I have this terrible habit of vaping. So I'm going to go do that for like 2 seconds, and then we're going to dip into it. Before I leave though, because I'm going to leave for like 20 seconds. But before I do, I want to read what I have to illustrate. So here's the page. It says, "The sun dapples the bright blue waters of Babacombe Bay." So this is the one thing I've already started. I was able to find what Babacombe Bay looks like, and I found a few images. Like I found this one. Hold on a sec. So I found this image, and then I also found this image here. Oh, and I should explain like what this is too. So what I'm doing, I'm going to do tight thumbnails. I found that was really helpful with expediting the process of 2 stories, and it did speed up my process. And I think that the way that these are done, I also have a style sheet like down here. That's basically from our pitch. So that's the style that I'm working with, like for the final, that you're going to see like there at the bottom right. And then I'm going to just drag into different layers, different references. And also the great thing is I'm doing killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because obviously as I'm like doing thumbnails, I could just draw like a generic bay and then end up like kind of working out the staging and stuff like that. But the cool thing is, either way, once it goes from thumbnail to final, I have to look up, what does Babacombe Bay look like? So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone here, because I'm both going to be generating thumbnails, like I'm going to be drawing thumbnails, but I'm also going to be assembling references that I'm going to need for the final process. So 2 birds with 1 stone. If any of that doesn't make sense, just ask me in the chats. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. And then Jake said, I'm going to cook, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to disappear for a few seconds too. But I'm going to, like, once I'm going to go vape real quick, and then I'm going to get into this, because the next section that I have to look up is, and this is a crazy one, but it's like I'm supposed to look up okay, Edward Bow Barrett, 30, brimming with optimism, sets at the helm of a small. By the way, my sister's such a good writer. I gotta say, like, it's great because it gives me a mood that I'm trying to convey, and none of this text that is going to be in the final, which is insane. So it's like I have to convey that feeling with the imagery. But yeah, one sailed Victorian leisure boat headed towards the coast of Devon. So now I got to find 2 things, right? Now I got to see, are there existing images of Edward Bow Barrett? Like I have plenty of images of Elizabeth Barrett Browning and multiple characters in this, but that's going to be our next research thing. Once I get back, is like, I got to see, can I find Edward Bow Barrett? And here's where it's going to be fun on these live streams. And I'm not saying you guys have to, but I am saying this is interactive. So like, if you guys are able to find like images of Edward Bow Barrett, Elizabeth Barrett Browning's brother, and kind of like a rough idea of what he looked like, if they exist, dude, chime in, let me know. You might get thanked in the final book. And the book's going to be 7x10, and it's going to be hardcover. Beautiful book. So I'm really excited about it. I have to keep that end goal in mind, but so I don't freak out. But yeah, that's what I have to find next is, and I'll highlight it here, is Edward Bow Barrett. And we'll pull back up that research bit, and we're going to be doing a lot of Google searching together, my dudes and ladies. So yeah, I don't know if that's exciting for you guys. I think it is. And we'll get into this whole historical fiction process together, which I'm excited about. So I hope you guys are excited about enjoying the ride of either watching that or just watching me fail completely, which, by the way, I think is valuable too, because again, like I've talked about this on Artcasters, and I think this will be a real life version of it, is like, first off, like fear of failure as an artist is never going to get you to overcome challenges. Like anytime you kind of give into fear, you end up saying no to a lot of opportunities that could be huge. Number two is failure is part of the process. So like there is a full chance that I do this and just blow it. It's kind of like when you're working in house and you have a deadline. Like you got to get this thing drawn in an hour. Um, you have to kind of be willing to embrace the fact that you're going to give it like 110%, and then maybe it doesn't, maybe you suck, maybe you didn't get it done, maybe you blow it, maybe your hand's not working right the day, but regardless, you just kind of have to get over um those like second guessing doubts and just kind of go for it and give it your best shot, and like 9 times out of 10 it actually works. So that's what I'm banking on. We'll see. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but okay. So I'm going to disappear. Then we're going to look up. Let's see. So our challenge today for this thumbnail, just for page 3, which will be on the right side. On this is a fun thing too with books, right? You have like your cover, you have your cover page. This page usually has like legalese, and then there's your first page. So page 3 is usually going to be on your right side, recto, right? Verso like is going to be like the left side. So that's what we're doing, right? We're on the it always sounds weird to say recto, but I guess in book design that's what they call it, the page on the right of your spread, which is like both pages. So we're on right page 3, and before I can even sketch, I have to find who is Edward Bro Barrett. What does he look like? So I'm going to start with Wikipedia, dig a little further. I did text my sister, who has a ton of research books on the Brownings, so she might send that to me. And worst case scenario, I might just have a generic Victorian dude as a placeholder until otherwise notified. I also have to find a one-sailed Victorian leisure boat, like a sailboat. So I'm going to have to look into that. So we're going to do some crazy research. I hope you guys are having fun and being creative, and I will be right back in about 2 seconds. Okay, so researching. I have been really surprised to kind of find out that it's a little hard to find Edward Bro Barrett images so far. It's partially because it seems like Elizabeth Barrett Browning's dad's name was Edward too. And so like quite often, like I can find an image of him, but I'm having trouble kind of finding the bro, like her brother, who's she nicknamed Bro. So, and it's really pretty tragic. Like this first sequence, he dies at sea, and so I'm drawing him on a sailboat like minutes before. We're kind of going to try to find this out. So we're looking for her brother. Jake said, it's amazing how much Google helped me scouting locations through Google Earth. I deeply respect the people who are willing to share pictures for me. Yeah, for sure. And again, like, if you guys are like pro researchers, let me know. I'm trying to kind of find. So anyhow, the cool thing about this book is there's a whole collection of letters that are like books, you know, that my sister like just spent years researching. The downside is like textual information and visual information are two kind of different things. So let's see here. All right, I don't think we're going to have luck with Wikipedia on this. So let's look up. Let's get back to our Edward Bro Barrett. Okay, so here's Edward Moulton Barrett Brother. Is this it? Biographical sketches. So this is some Browning's correspondence, which is great. This website, when my sister wrote the script, didn't exist, so she had to go to like libraries and stuff, like and kind of like find like different collections of letters and stuff. But now they have a very nice thing. Browning likenesses. So even here, this is like a Browning's dedicated site. And it's like, I think we have Barrett Elizabeth, right? There's some great references for Elizabeth. There's like 57. That's great. We have Robert Browning. We have Robert Penn Browning, which is their kid. We have Robert Browning Sr. That's the dad. But it doesn't seem like they at like a research site have been able to find her brother and what he looks like. Okay, so we're learning some things. I mean, obviously I can just go to images and I doubt we're gonna find it. Yeah, because that's Robert. And that's hilarious. Like here's another challenge. Look at this fascinating beard that Robert had. That's going to be another challenge later on. But yeah, we don't have, like, I don't think we have a lot of reference for this. So I think what I might have to do is just kind of pull like I could dig deeper, but I kind of think I'm going to take a guess here and say that if like a site that researches her letters and compiles them and has like 57 images of her and of her husband and stuff like that, I am guessing that they probably don't have pictures of what her brother looked like. This is like an era where that didn't always occur, so that there is always the possibility of piecing together a guy that could be believable in that role. So there's more Browning stuff. And I'm looking for images here, guys. But I think I'm probably between a rock and a hard place on like finding an image. I might do some deeper dives, obviously, than like quick Google searches as time allows. But I'm thinking like it just doesn't seem like it exists. Okay. So we're going to kind of settle with, I'm going to do this again. We're going to kind of settle with a likeness of Elizabeth. And we're going to kind of postulate from that era what that would look like. Okay. So, Edward Bro, to be honest, I'm going to rule that out for now. If more time allows later on. Now we're going to look for a one-sailed. Now, here's the thing. I need to find 1840s fashion. Okay, I don't think they're going to be dressed like gangs in New York. But this doesn't hurt. Like it's like I'm trying to kind of get a semblance, an idea of like what do they look like? What are they wearing, right? This is all going to be useful. We're just getting a feel for like, in fact, some of this might just be helpful later on. But I'm going to just kind of get a feel of like what people were wearing at the time, right? Okay. So I have that rough, just again, like this isn't as specific, but I'm just kind of saying that. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Jake was saying, settle with the likeness of the father. That's actually a really good point. So let's just look up Edward Barrett. Elizabeth Barrett. Brownings. There we go. Okay, this is the sun. Wait. Okay, that's a costume. Never mind. Edward Barrett. Okay, I think there we go. There we go. That's it. That's what I needed. No, I think this is Basil Rathbone playing him. But hey, I'll take it. No. Okay. Is this at all fascinating to you guys? I hope so. It's sad. Like, there's a deeper dive I'd like to take. You know, like it'd be fun to actually go to the library and like seek this stuff out. But it's like I'm really bound by the time constraints. There we go. Robert Weidman. Nope. It's the sun. There we go. Actually, it's funny. I thought we had pictures of the father, but looking at that, it looks like it's Basil Rathbone playing the father in an old movie about the Brownings, which is, by the way, like that's one thing I love about this script is most of the stories about the Brownings have talked about their relationship because they're like these notorious famous poets, but yeah, this, huh? I'm gonna just throw this in there as a possibility. Okay, we're finding a lot of cool Brownings related stuff, but it looks like the father might even be off the realm of possibility. It looks like they have Robert's father. Like I noticed that on that letters site too. It seems like they have references for Robert's father, but they may not even have images of her father. It's from an era where there were no images. So again, I'm trying to dot my I's and cross my T's so that basically I can have the equipment to be as accurate as I can within the time constraints I have. Okay, so Edward Bro. Now here's the cool thing. My sister, who is way more well researched on this, when I reached out to her and was like, "Hey, would you happen to have an image or have any idea like what this guy looked like?" She might text me an image from like one of her 50 research books, and in that case, we'll have that problem solved. But for now, we're going to move forward. Hopefully you guys can also start to see just from this little thing like what a crazy challenge this is going to be, because we haven't even put pen to paper yet. Okay. He's 30. I need to look up Victorian sailor. So the thing is, her brother wasn't in the Navy, so I'm not looking for like a Navy costume. Let's try 1800s sail, men on sailboat. Again, we're kind of going all over the place here, but check a sailboat from the 1800s. Now that's strange. I actually like that as an option. I wasn't looking for pirate ships though here, guys. So we're looking through sailboats now, trying to find. Okay, let's try a different method here. Single sailboat. Types of sailboats. Are you guys seeing how interesting this can be? I mean, I feel like Gary does a lot of this. Gary's in the chats, but it's like Gary's doing a lot of books that take place in like much more recent times. So there's a lot more like photo references and stuff. But the amount of research that goes into trying to kind of like make something a little period accurate, it's a wormhole that you can get lost in very much. But again, I want to be as thorough as I can at the thumbnail stage because the future me that's freaking out trying to do about a page a day is going to be high-fiving the past me for compiling these hard to find images, especially at a time where I won't even have time for Google searches. This isn't helpful. Okay. What is a single sail? A cat boat. Is that true? You know what would be hilarious is because I'm doing a lot of Google searching for this. Wouldn't it be funny if like after this I'm like a conspiracy theorist? like somehow I'm looking up sailboats and afterwards like everyone's talking to me and I'm like, you guys, like the Q thing, it's all right. Or so, like I don't know. I think that would be pretty hilarious. Paulpate said, how's it going? Paul, I'm about halfway through your awesome book. I'm really enjoying it. The second it brings in the vampires and like turret gun, I think I'm on page 128 of it. Paul Pate, really good book. Detective Perez, Welcome to Rust City. Also, Paul Pate, strong cartooning skills, dude. Anyhow, okay, let's get back to this. The problem with boats is there's a million boats. But, do I want to be that guy who has like a scene in a movie where you're like, that boat didn't even exist then, Yeah, that was an intense sequence, Paul. Like that was cool. But anyhow, I just got through that sequence where it gets like real. It just gets really heavy and fun and action packed. So far really good. It's really well crafted too. I like the way you've slowly kind of weaved all these interconnecting threads that are now kind of starting to bring like a real like crazy action plot. I love it. Okay. Do we want to the story 9 lives, the story of the cat boat? Oh my gosh. You guys. Oh, Dede, thank you so much. Dede threw me a super chat and said Josh is going to need all the coffee we can throw at him. Yeah. That's true. Thank you, Dede. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Yeah. It's going to be a long ride where I got to keep my sanity. So I think it's called a cat boat, what she's writing about here. Let's go back to that. You guys notice this is like one we're one sentence in, like we're we're 2 sentences in. We're on sentence 2. And it's been a good, how long have I been streaming? Yeah, a good 43 minutes. No pen to paper yet. Okay, let's see. One sailed Victorian leisure boat. I'm just going to see. I'm guessing that's a cat boat, but I'm going to look and see if that actually results in anything. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I might have been wrong. Victorian leisure boat, stock photos and imagery. Huge collection. Do any of these have a sail? Hey. Interesting. I mean, that's a much like Paul said, "This is your sister's story, right?" Yeah, we're co-creating. I mean, here's the thing. I was adamant about that too. Like, I want to be listed as a co-creator because we're both doing this for just an advance and then royalties, and that's the buy-in. So we have like a split where we're evenly splitting it. She's written and created this entire script, and then I'm creating the visual world of it, and so yeah, it's definitely my sister's story, but also because I'm gonna draw this whole thing and I'm gonna be losing like a year plus, like I'm like, no, I need to be credited as like co-creator. But Paul's saying just change it, it's your sister. Yeah, so that's the thing is like I think this might be what the boat is. I'm gonna now here's the weird thing is like I will slightly change it. So I'm gonna tell you guys how I kind of approach stuff like this because I have had to like illustrate stories where it's referencing a particular style of boat or a particular car or a particular plane. Usually what I'll do is try to get a couple images that are of what the boat is. So at least I'm a little bit in that territory. I'll often like look for baseline like 3D models or toys. In this case, I might look for a 3D model or maybe even create one so that I can just kind of move around the boat and get one that's close enough. And then obviously I can kind of modify it and draw it like however I need to. But when I'm doing that, like I feel like the value of doing the research is just to have like a common idea of like what look I'm trying to get at. However, I will tell you if this is the boat, that's not as dramatic as I want it to be. So we might have to have it be a different boat just for drama. Because if he's lost at sea on like a little tiny, like a very tiny little boat. I mean, I don't mind if it's small, but it's like that boat looked like a gondola, It's I what's funny is now that I said gondola, it's like that's what's showing up here. I don't I doubt that's the boat though, because you want a boat that's gonna like capsize at sea. What about the Hemingway boat? What's the Hemingway boat? Send me a link. Send me a link, Paul. Oh, I will tell you guys too, if you again like this can be interactive. So if you guys are able, like I definitely don't have the expectation, but again, if somebody chimes in and goes, "Here's the boat you're looking for," uh, that will be greatly helpful to me. Yeah, that's the thing. Dede was saying, who would go to sea in that little thing? Yeah, I don't know if that's it. That would seem a little weird. Although to be fair, this boat does capsize like within page 1 and 2. That's not giving away a huge spoiler. That's just literally that's gonna be the beginning. So I don't feel like I'm blowing the book or anything on that. So but yeah, I'm trying to think like what kind of boat this is. Um Okay, I might have to again look up Bro Browning. Not Robert. I keep saying Robert. Edward. Let's see here. We got Edward Bro Barrett. Why am I writing Browning? I'm gonna need more coffee in a second. Edward Bro Barrett. Edward Moulton Barrett. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this mentions. Okay. Okay, here we go. On the 11th, Bro went on a cruise in Babacombe Bay in La Bella Savage. There's a name of the boat. Dude. But what's the likelihood? This is the catch of like research, right? It's like now I have a name. That's good though, because here's the thing: if there's like a hole on the ship that's going to have like the ship name, whatever that is, like you know how ships have like their ship name on them. Now I have a ship name that I can put on the ship. So I'm going to actually grab that and I'm going to literally make that a layer. So far we found the ship name now, guys. The thing I love about this is one of the things I kind of enjoyed though. So I'm just gonna, and that's in a real Victorian font. That's just me storing it, and I think that's my thumbnail template for my live streams font. One of the ones I use. But anyhow, I'm gonna store that because that's good to know. I'm gonna just call it this layer ship name. And then here's Babacombe Bay, right? Got Babacombe Bay. We found those. Oh my goodness, I just realized you guys can't see any of this. Let me disappear this part. There you go. Okay. So what I did was write the ship name. That's why I was laughing about the type. So I got ship name as a layer. I've got Babacombe Bay, 2 references. And I have like the style guide. Now I need to think about potential ships. We found this weird ship, which I don't think is going to do it, but I'll still say like this one I might call ship question mark. Okay. Now we have ship name. We have like one ship that we found so far that I don't think is the ship. 3 miles off Tynemouth. The other thing is I don't know if Babacombe Bay, the bay itself. Is this at all interesting to you guys? Like part of why I was interested in oh, look at that. That's a much older view of it. That's exciting. Who knew? See, some of this is looking a little, because if this is Tynemouth or whatever, England, I don't know England very well, but to me, that right there, oh my gosh, come on. That right there looks like a, oh, I got to put the spot back on so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. That right there looks much more like something you could capsize like in that area. And this is Tynemouth, but it seems like he was kind of between the two. So I'm going to throw that out there as a potential. Yeah, because I think that's got to be somehow in the same kind of sea area. But it's like when I see those like rocks and stuff out there, I think like that's a lot more believable. Okay. So I'm going to throw this in as well to my little reference pile here. Oh, wrong one. My reference pile is going to now have Tynemouth. I think I might need a refill of coffee. let's see here. Oh, Dede said, was he just tooling around the bay when he went over? They don't really know. He was on the ship with a couple friends, and then the boat just got capsized and drowned. Like I think like the hull went under a wave, and then it just they lost the whole boat. Here, I'll get a little more specific on that. Hold on. So that's how the story's introduced, which makes a lot of sense. When 2 or 3 miles off of Teigenmouth, the boat capsized in a squall, all being drowned. Okay, so I need like a squall. Trying to remember, a squall is like a giant wave, right? Who is there a character named Squall, or am I misspelling Squall? Style guide? What's that? I'm curious. And he said, I don't want to interrupt. This is very interesting to watch your process. I do some of the same stuff. Yeah. Gary, see, now I can see, because I remember talking to you, Gary, when I was considering pitching this, and I was like, I think it'll be fun because it's historical fiction, and you're like, you should. Now I'm like, I think you just wanted me to experience your hell. But it is kind of fun. Yeah, a squall is like a storm, but I thought it had something to do with a wave too. Like it's a specific kind of storm, isn't it? Oh my gosh, my lack of sea knowledge. A sudden violent gust of wind or a localized storm. So I think that it's like it's like a quick, like I think it has something to do with like the speed of it is the squall. But still, again, I'm getting like a mood for like where we're gonna be here. And I might have to like ask my sister, because this is set like initially it's like a bright sunny day, and then it's just like the boat capsizes. So that might be a problem. Like they might not want the sun glinting off of the bay when it's like a now I'm just getting some good squall references, guys. Okay. This is all part of the process. Okay. I'm jumping ahead with the squall part though. But if that's oh, Paul. Oh man. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Change the setting to a wave pool at a theme park. Yes. Yeah, his boat capsized at a wave pool in a theme park. Let's see here. Okay, so the boat capsized, all were drowned. And all the bodies but Vanek were recovered. Dude, okay, I'm gonna look up Carter Godfrey. Dude, this is this is a fun rabbit hole of like trying to find all these different things. I'm like, okay, Carter Godfrey, it was his boat. So I want to see like what does he look like, but maybe not that. What about Captain Clark William White? I don't think this is TikTok's 80s heartthrob. that's Elizabeth Barrett Browning's brother died in a squall with a TikTok 80s heartthrob, you guys. I don't know if you're aware of that, but oh my goodness. Still getting used to the setup I have on OBS, but in a wave pool at a theme park. We're going to do an alternate history version of this book once this one's done. Ah. Not looking for the grave, though, guys. We're looking for... Well, this isn't the same William White, but I got to appreciate that this man looks like a walrus. You know what I mean? Isn't that a... I don't know, that's... I kind of want to pretend that this is the William White, because that would be a really fun... I mean... You know, I don't even... Oh my gosh. I'm just going to save that image because... look how fun that face would be to draw. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Paul was saying he looks drunk as hell. Yes, this guy looks like when he speaks, it would just be instant. Well, everything he'd say would be blah 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 blah. Okay, that was not the William White, but that was well worth the search. And at some point, I'm going to draw that dude. Okay. Let's just try 18. So there were... Okay. One sailed Victorian leisure boat. We got to get back on that junk. Now we're talking. What is this, though? Now we're talking. We're getting into some... This is kind of an amazing resource here. Do you see this? See, what I'm guessing is it's got to be a yawl. or a dandy rigged boat. Yeah, Paul was saying my boat is taking on water. Gonna go eat some leftover pizza. Maybe I'll catch up when I'm down in my studio. This is awesome though, fun to watch. That's awesome. Yeah, I like this. I like this grabbing that business. Again, we're kind of getting a little closer. I wonder if that would be correct. A yawl or a dandy rigged boat. I'm gonna write that down. If I could find a pen. Okay, there we go. Yawl. Dandy rigged boat. Haha. My son has a sword. I don't know if you guys are witnessing that awesomeness. I love it. Okay. Ben, you're a rad warrior, dude. That was kind of cool. All right. Where are we at? Rig y'all. Yeah, I mean, a full rigged ship. Let's see this. No, it's definitely not a full rigged ship. It couldn't have been a yacht, was it? Look at this guy. Again, if people like struggle for inspiration, just like start going down a rabbit hole of like research, because look at this dude's face. Again, I'm just going to store that for future reference, as well as this crazy letter up here on the left. Do you see this? It's a nutty, like demon riding the back of someone over a Y. I mean, here, let's see if we can. I mean, do you see that letter? Look at that. What is going on? Okay. Back to work, guys. Back to work. Okay. See, that's the ship it needs to be. I think it needs to be a yacht. That's what I would think it would have to be. I don't think that it requires a full crew, but that would actually make a little more sense. But then also, would it have been a... There we go. Something more like that. Maybe I'm overthinking it. See, that looks about right to me. Okay. Okay, guys. I gotta disappear for a couple seconds. I will be right back. I'm gonna keep the stream running though, because this is gonna be a possible long time. So we're at an hour. But I'm gonna get some coffee and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're gonna deep dive more. I hope I hope this is interesting for you guys. I find it really fascinating. It's half of why I wanted to do this whole uh fantasy fiction thing. Did he say he died in this topside boat? Yes, 100% did. Yeah. It like haunted so it's a good way, like Lavender did a good job uh setting up like the story like that we're working on. Like the first page is going to establish this event because the event will continue to haunt Elizabeth for like the rest of her life, and actually caused her to get like addicted to like opium and stuff. It's like it's a crazy um very sad thing, you know. But now I'm just having to find what was that boat. I don't know if Gary can relate to this, or if he's still even in the chats, but it's like I can imagine many times where he's like, dude, if I could just have a time machine for like 2 seconds and like go back. But then the cool thing about fiction and historical fiction is you are the time machine, and inevitably you're not going to be perfect at it, you know. Like there's so many questions here, you know. It's like this is a historical record, and it's like I know the names of the dudes. I know there were like three guys. In fact, I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna copy this resource too. This is where I just get like I kind of treat. I also want to just use like a more normal font here. Let's just use Myriad. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Why aren't you changing? Okay. This is why you don't do type in Photoshop. But I'm not doing type for the book. This is just like placeholder stuff. I just need the type somewhere. Why not have it on the page? So that's in case I want to go back. Like I found a good. Let me show you guys. Again, I keep forgetting to switch off the device. I'll get better at this as I go. I'm just gonna paste that into here because that's a pretty darn good resource that I can go back to if need be, to kind of like get more involved. But inevitably, you're not going to be able to hit all the points accurately, especially in like older history where it's like most of the records are like paintings and then like early photographs. And I mean, like, if you're doing like a war, like a story about a war, like there's going to be tons of like sketches, like records, like museums, all sorts of stuff. But in this case, I mean, this is like some of the most revered poets, like in the history of like British English poetry, right? But it's like they're still like, we're kind of grasping in the dark a little bit. But what a cool, yeah. So it seems to me like we don't have, yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, I see the confusion here. Dede, that actually is a different, like, so what you're talking about is uh so Edward Barrett Moulton Barrett, like it is different than Edward Barrett. Does that make sense? So like for instance, this is like he died in 1840. There are multiple Edward Barretts, and then her father, I believe his name was Barrett, I believe, or Edward. So there's like a confusion. Like that's where I was having trouble initially finding like her brother. Um and then Dede said, yeah, I might have the wrong guy. I know, right? Like that's the fun of the research. But it's exciting to like, I don't know, to me I think that's half the fun of this. Like that's half of why I wanted to get involved in like a historical fiction book, because it like I'm probably a little autistic, right? I've talked about this on stream. And there's a part of me that like really enjoys like going down rabbit holes and finding information. And so this is a real it's just a fun excuse to do that and have to do it on a timeline. So that'll hopefully help me from going too far down the rabbit hole on some of this data and information. And the great thing is, even all of this little needling is going to help a lot when the book is finished and we have to promote it, because I'm going to, by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to probably have like a pretty solid idea of the Brownings in this story. And I will tell you, the script is just, you guys are going to get little snippets at a time, but the script is just so excellent for this book. Okay, so I like this site too. It's pretty cool. Ooh, look at this. This is where I love historians. Historical England, ships and boats, introductions to heritage assets. Yeah, Dede was saying, "Nod, I love research." I know, and the fun thing, and I know it's weird. It's like initially, like often I'll just do. I mean, this is what I would do if I had to do like a single illustration or something. Like this process, that's what illustrators and designers and creatives do. And initially, I was like hesitant to like start live streaming while doing it, but then I was realizing like it's kind of fun to it's a fun process, and I think it'll be educational for people who haven't done this before. This is honestly a lot of what I'm showing right now is also how I'll look into like if I have like a philosophical question or if I have like a historical question. Obviously, I'll get a little deeper and I'll actually read full articles in those cases. But in this case, I'm doing visual research, so I'm really just looking for like quick like visual guides to kind of get me somewhere. And then if I happen to stumble upon like some data that's going to help me, further my search or whatever, that's great. Um, and obviously, you can go way deeper than just like Google. It's just like for me, this is going to help a lot. So Victorian. Um, is this going to have visual references? Historic ships of the modern period are inextricably linked to the industrial developments. Yes. Sorry. This right here is really good. This is Dede was saying your sister probably wants you to just draw. No, I mean this is part of why I'm being considered like a co-creator of it too, is like a lot of the visuals, they do want it to be like really accurate. But at the end of the day, like we know it's gonna, there's gonna inevitably be like, well, that ship didn't exist. But this is a good thing to know. Like right here, it says modern period or inextricably the historic ships that we see now, like the ships now, are not that far off from the ships then. That's a good thing to know because of the innovations that they made at the time. Now this looks like it might be more about steamships, but I thought that was kind of cool because if the sailboat went through a lot of innovations by this period in time, then I might be able to get away more with a sailboat that's more current. Victorian. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is a steamship, a Victorian steamship, but look at that. How cool is that? I'm sorry, that's just a rad ship. Like, I mean, okay. And now we have some strange figurehead of the Thames. Okay, this must be all about steamships, but how cool is that? Oh, thank you. Poor Dede. My goodness. I'm sorry, Dede. Thank you for saying something. I was just like scrolling through and finding this really interesting. I have to remember to kind of like every once in a while turn this back on and off so you guys can see what I'm doing. So right here, I found this like document that, you know, at the top, where was it? It was basically talking about like the importance of Victorian ships and stuff like that, and talking about how modern ships aren't all that off in design from like the innovations that were made at exactly the time period that we're writing. But then as I'm going through, it's showing like chain operated. I think it's showing like some new innovations, like steam innovations and stuff. But now we're talking now. Okay, we got a first ironclad comes out in 1860. It's 20 years later. And now we're talking about like warships, which is interesting. So that's cool. That's a ship under construction. Man, these are just cool things. But this mainly looks like it's more on the technical specification. But what I was saying was cool about that is like realizing that we might be able to get away with just using like a one sail, a more modern one sail boat. I gotta say, like, one of the things that's great about the internet, the thing I'm doing right now, that's what the internet was made for. Like, it was originally, you know, libraries, you know, trying to share resources and have ways to access other libraries. And so, I'm just saying, we're very lucky to live in the era we do, where I can like find a document like this, where I can just randomly find documents like this, you know. And while this might be time consuming now, it's like, yeah. Yeah, Dede was saying, seems like they would address the type of ship he died in. Maybe it wasn't that important because it was a common one. Yeah, I think it was just a small one sail. They named the ship. That's the annoying part, right? Here it is. We know it was called La Belle Savage. Carter Godfrey. Let's try that. Carter Godfrey. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's his Dark Materials wiki, and it talks about like somebody's canoe, but yeah, I don't think it's a known ship. Okay. So what did Victorian all I need to know is, what did a Victorian one sail boat? I just don't want it to be as weak as that one that we saw before. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it should be a fuller boat. Okay, we're just going to look up Victorian sailboat. Maybe I'm just overcomplicating the search here. The weird thing is I'm not sure. Like even if I look at this, right? That's how I envision a sailboat. I'm not familiar with a sailboat that just has one sail. So maybe she was thinking one mast, like with two sails. Because I think most sailboats have two sails and one mast, or if that's even called a mast, like the center, whatever it is that holds the sails, right? I think that would be it, right? Hoist the sails. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even remember what that's called, but like that part, you know, the oh my gosh, I don't even know what that's called. A shortcut I've found for a lot of stuff like this is to look to see some big budget movie depicting things from that era has been made. The logic being they've paid researchers. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like maybe I'll look and see if there's like a film that has like a boating scene or something. Did we already go to this one? Okay, back to the old search. Let's go back to the Victorian sailboat. I'm going to look and see here rather than just going to images and see what we've got here. I want Victorian, not Victoria. there's a million sailboats called the Victoria. What year is this again? It's 1840. So problem is there's so many have a really good idea. Haha, I might have found it. This might get there, you guys. I'm not sure why Victorian painting of a sailboat comes up with a spicy picture of Farrah Fawcett. That's a little surprising. Yeah, thank you. It's the mast. So the word I was looking for was the mast. So it's like, yeah, I think it's probably a single mast sailboat. Because I don't think there is such a thing as a single sail. Maybe there is. I mean, that right there. No, that's pretty good. All right, guys, we're getting closer. Whew. Okay. Keep looking. Because, like, the thing is, once I kind of have a decision on what the boat is, that's a pretty good one, too. Oh, that wasn't it. But that, whatever that is pretty good. Oh, my goodness, you guys. Just show me the dinghy. There we go. So Jake's probably more, Jake Twister in the chats, who's probably way more familiar with boats because like where you live. It's like I grew up in the desert, so it's like my knowledge of boats is pretty slim. So maybe it is. Let's try a dinghy. Let's try a Victorian dinghy. Yeah, and that's no, we're back to the boring boat. Because the catch is it's got to fit. It's got to fit like more than one dude. I guess a dinghy can fit more than one dude, but it's supposed to have been 4 people on this thing. I guess you could have 4 people on a dinghy. Ooh, that's cool. It's a modern Victorian wood boat. That's not a sailboat, but it's still pretty cool. Just as an image. Yeah, there we go. Right. That's. Oh, you know what I need to do? Well, let's try one more thing, and then we're gonna start looking for 3D models because we're losing time. I still feel like I haven't hit the right one. But I think we have a rough idea. Let's try. So I was just realizing, like, ship people are really into making like those little mini. I love it. Dede said it's capsized because there's too many men in the boat. Yeah, I should draw it as like a little rowboat, and it's capsized. It just sinks because they had like 4 guys on there. Oh man, we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. All about patience. I can't help but feel like it's like this. And this is a wooden sailboat, but this to me looks like what it is. Like that's what it should be, I would think, right? Actually, this is really rad. It's a little wood sailboat, right? But here's the beauty of the internet, too. It literally has a turnaround of the entire boat. That's enough to give me a shape and an idea. What do you guys think? Do you think that's good enough for the boat? I think it is. Flash forward to like 2 years from now when people are reading our book and some historians like, that boat didn't. Yeah. Problem here, I think it stems from a mimetic representation of a boat versus a historically accurate boat from that era. I think I can do both. I think you need a boat that looks like it can fit 4 people. And I need to find one that would kind of fit within that era. It does look a little modern. It does look a little modern. You're right. I think the base of that boat is a more modern design. But then again, it's weird because, like, this is a Victorian pond yacht. There's a little bit closer. You know what? We might have just found this. Oh my goodness, look at this. You guys. Maybe it's a gentleman's racing yacht. I mean, it's supposed to be like a leisure yacht, but not a leisure yacht. How was it described? One sailed Victorian leisure boat. You guys, this is the hell that illustrators have to go through that writers don't. Like, a writer can say, hey, it's a one sailed boat that's Victorian. Boom, done. You get a visual picture. You think of the boat. It's like, it could be one thing, it could be another. Oh, check out the link I shared. Let's see. But like, that's the catch. That's why illustration's hard, right? Because, like, to do a visual picture of it, it's like, now I got to be literal about it. Like, I can't be vague. I need to literally know what this thing is. Where did you share it? Where did you share it, Gary? Gary, did you share it on Facebook? Just let me know where I can look to find what you shared. Guessing it was shared on Facebook. Oh, here we go. No. Okay. Let me know. Writers have the leisure. I can't see where you shared it, Gary. Where did you share the link? Oh, the one I'm talking about, or which one? What are you talking about? Yeah, Gary, I just need to know where to look to get what you're talking about, my dude. Here, let's take that off too. Oh, that's weird. What happened there? Gotta reset that. There we go. My goodness, sorry, technical glitch there. Oh, there it is. Got it. Gary said this is the one. Okay, let's get back to this. That is what Gary shared. Yeah, that's pretty good. I concur, Gary. I think that might be it. So it's called a light ship, huh? The Nor light vessel. Ooh, Nor light vessel, Royal Museums, Greenwich. Might be too big. Yeah, I think that's way too big. Oh man. That's like a straight like fishing boat, you know. I like it though, Gary. But I like the idea of kind of keeping it a little lighter. Yeah. I'm curious about this there's like 4 scenes. Like, so I have to draw the boat from an overhead from a distance. Then I have to actually draw a close up that's on the boat. And then I have to draw one that's a little further away, and then I have to draw the boat capsizing. Like, but it's not really capsizing. It's just getting whatever you call it when like a giant squall kind of has a wave that engulfs the ship over the hull of the ship. So unfortunately, I kind of have to know what ship I'm drawing. If it were just like a long shot scene, I'd be all about it. The other thing is I will eventually like obscure it and stuff like that too, but it's still really important to get it as somewhat accurate as I could. I'm kind of liking this. Like Dede was saying, oh, you have to draw all those details. They should have some reference to the type of boat if it's that important. But they are me. Like, it's my sister and I are creating this book. Like, it's not like the publisher is like, oh, hey, draw this thing. It's like we told the publisher, hey, this is our book. So that's the catch. Like, I am the person who has to figure out the boat. I want to be really accurate to the story, you know? But yeah, you're right. Like, the nice thing is it does look like in the history it's not super specific, so I can probably get away with using a boat from that time. That would work, and so hopefully it's pretty good. What's the context of the tour? Ooh, Jake might be able to help with this because I think Jake's more familiar with Europe as well. So let me read it again. I don't know if you guys are able to, but there's the section of script I'm trying to work on is literally right down there. It's probably pretty small though to read, maybe too small to read. Let me see if I can pull up the script again. Whew. We're almost there, guys, though. We're almost there. So I'm looking for, so it's, the context is the sun dapples the bright blue waters of Babacombe Bay. And then here, let me show you guys what I have so far. Not there. Okay, there. So Babacombe Bay is like this area, and I think they're outside of Sorry, there's dogs. They're outside of Babacone Bay, like kind of heading towards Tigmouth or Teigenmouth. So I think Teigenmouth. Sorry about the dogs. Okay. I think Teigenmouth is like this ridge. Teigenmouth is this ridge that's right here. I think this, is that. Oh, sorry. Is that. Does that make sense? So, this is Babacone Bay. This is Teigenmouth. I think where he was probably, I'm guessing, somewhere around here. You know, maybe even out here. So now I'm trying to think. He's on a ship. That looks. This is the ship that seems most accurate to that time, which is a dinghy that's literally one sail. But I'm like, I don't even know if like 4 guys can fit on that ship. It's also not very, very interesting. So yeah, so I think probably here, because I would guess like here might be somewhat close to the shore. So I'm just thinking if it capsizes like kind of in that area, and we're kind of in this area here, they're probably further out, because they got to be far out enough to where like the boat's sinking, they're dead, right? So yeah, but now I want to think like what's a period accurate boat that's a sailboat that's gonna like look really dramatic. Oh, cool. And Jake said, I'm looking at the map and you're probably correct. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it. So I'm trying to think of a sailboat that's going to be fascinating for them to do. Another reason it's important for me to do the research on this is there are going to be dreams of this sequence. Like this is a really important sequence for Elizabeth. So it's important that I get it dead on. Gary throws Josh a rope. Oh, I sent you a couple more options. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that racing yacht might be the route to go. Hold on a sec. Let me pull up these. Yeah, I think a racing yacht is probably our best bet because that's kind of where I was heading to, Gary, I think. Thank you, Gary. That's awesome, though. Yeah, I love it. Because it's, this, I feel like we're really close. Yeah. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hang on a second. There you go. I feel like we're close, right? You know what I mean? That's pretty close. That's what Gary sent. Got it. And then Jake was saying they could cap further out. So, okay. Got it. So, yeah, I think this might be the route, like something like this. So maybe I'm looking for like a Victorian racing yacht. Because what I want to do, yeah, that is it. And I do feel like this is the boat. All right, that's good. We have like a really good angle. An undermanned yacht. Because how many people does it take to man a racing yacht?
My dad used to do that. You can have 4.
So you can do
You have a
4.
team.
Yeah, my wife was just letting me know like that's teams of 4. So because her dad used to race yachts. Because we're thinking like a small. Yeah, it's like a small thing like this. Let's see here.
He didn't own one or anything. He was just.
Right? You know what I mean? Oh, you guys, I think we're good. I think we're good on this. Close. I mean, during a squall, I think it doesn't matter how many you have, you're screwed. It's something that little. Yeah. And then got it. And then Dede was saying not a dinghy, clapping, and then Jake was saying an undermanned yacht. Dede was saying it took 4 of us here. That's true. It takes 4 to find the yacht, but I appreciate you guys helping. Because I think I've found the look of what I want. Jake, you're more familiar with like maritime stuff, so let me know, like, would that be feasible for like 4 dudes? I'm gonna see. It looks like they have a It looks like they have like a YouTube video, so I'm gonna go to that. I'm obviously. Are you guys hearing that? I don't want to play audio or anything like that. We're playing an advertisement inside of an advertisement. Okay, come on. I need to invest in YouTube Red, you guys. Let's see here.
Hey, is this yours? Yeah, Papa gave it to me. Oh, okay. I didn't recognize him in the field and material or anything else. Now staying at their place.
No, I don't want to.
Hey, Josh, can I show you something really quick?
Oh, hang on a sec. I'll disappear for a second. What's up? Oh, I know.
Yeah, you got him the Arby's thing.
That is awesome. That is cool. My son got a pair of like plier things from Arby's. That's right, Arby's. I don't want to show an advertisement here, so hang on a second. I'll show ads, but not something I'm not getting paid for. So, okay, I'm gonna mute too. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Do you hear YouTube videos when I play them? Hopefully not. Okay, so I'm gonna disappear for like 2 seconds because we've been going for a good like 2 hours. I'll be right back, but I think we found the boat. I'm gonna kind of pull this back on. I think that's our boat. So, yeah. Okay, cool. And then Dede said I didn't hear the ad. That's good. All right, so we found the boat. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Then we're gonna find an approximated 3D model if we can. That's like close to the boat because now that I know the boat, I'm gonna get a couple pictures from this video, and from there we can move on to like the next sentence. Yay! And then hopefully in like an hour I'll have enough to like block out and thumbnail at least the first 2 pages. So historical fiction, fun times. I really appreciate everybody's help too. And Gary, thanks. You helped me nail it down to like maybe we want a racing boat. That was super helpful.
This is when you do the whole if we were stranded on a desert island.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Whew. That was a beast. It took like 2 hours to find a boat.
Oh, that's Minecraft. What world is that? That's dope.
This is Minecraft Emerald Tycoon.
Wait, show me you.
This is Minecraft Emerald Tycoon.
He looks like a pirate.
This is Minecraft Emerald Tycoon, and this is me.
Emerald Tycoon. Cool.
Yeah, Jake was saying, what would make a yacht cap if the weather is fine, a line as straight as that distance and enough of a crew? So that's just the location. You got to envision that in a squall, like that just hits. So I think, here, let me redraw my map here. Because I think more accurately, I think you're right. Like if it's here, even if the boat sinks, right, it's like not even that deep. I'm guessing because it's close to the coast. Maybe it's like one of those coasts that like, you know, has like a real deep coastline underwater or whatever, you know, so you could fit your boat there, right? But I would imagine you'd want to be like, even I would imagine it's probably more like that. So you're probably thinking like here. So probably more like here. Oh my gosh. I see now, like this is the funny thing doing this again, it's starting to look like a conspiracy theory. And then there's alien spaceships that, you know, come and cause the, that's where Gary and I do a crossover. Anyhow, but yeah, I think probably best to bet that it's going to be about here. So if I draw this, like I'm going to probably draw like probably more from like kind of like the in between of these two. And then of course like a lot more from like the ocean side. So it'll probably have like a coastline. And then I'm probably going to have like maybe the boat. I don't know. Well, I'm going to have to kind of work that out when I get to roughs, but that's what I'm starting to think. It seems like we have our vehicles, so that's good. So I have my first vehicle here, which is going to be showing me a little bit. I got to think about what else I've got here. Okay. So we have an interior, which is interesting. But they're on the deck. But that's a cool shot. Like now I can see like the guts of this ship, which is kind of amazing. Isn't the internet just the best? And I'm just realizing I need to share this again. Let's see what else we have. Oh man, we have like beautiful angles of this ship. Because I'm pretty sure you can actually do like a yacht with a small crew. Like a small yacht you can man with a small crew. So Jake's saying the Squall throws the yacht around. Yeah, so the catch is actually that the Squall causes a wave that takes down like the front of the ship. Like so the wave hits it and the ship just kind of dives down. Like that's at least from the record what seems to have happened. So but I mean, this is excellent references here, you guys. Holy moly, the internet's great. Look at that. That's perfect. Like if I'm going to have the boat kind of flying in the air, that's while they're restoring it. But like, look at that. I actually have a view of the base of the ship. This is why research is great because like at this point, you know, like I'm going to have to do a shot that's on the ship and look at that. Like this is so nerdy. But like, isn't that a great piece of reference there? It's like, I don't have to invent the wheel. It's like, this is the ship they're on. Now I can kind of envision it. Now I'm a lot freer to like really just kind of make this happen, you know? Like, so where that old man is with the glasses, that's going to be Elizabeth Barrett Browning's brother, right? Now we can like start to see this story happening. Look at that ship. This is 2 guys piloting it. So it's definitely possible to do this with 4 men. And I think in the script, there's somebody on the deck. So that's going to be good too.
Oh.
They actually found all the bodies except for one after this event too. So the wave is he was saying, so Jake was saying, you mean the yacht got hit by a rogue wave at the front? I think it's not like necessarily a rogue wave. It's like, I think they had calm seas, a squall hit. So suddenly it's like, you know, you have these calm seas get pretty turbulent. They're kind of getting through it. And then like out of nowhere, like a giant wave just hits. The boat starts taking on more water and then they sink. Why am I? Oh, hang on a second. I don't need the subtitles. Thank you. Dismiss. For sale. You see? You guys, like, here's the thing. You guys should just buy me that ship. I'm joking. You should buy me that ship so I have good reference. I'm joking. I do think it's a cool thing, though. But I mean, holy moly, I just got all the good reference I need. Let's see if there's any other visions of it that I missed. I mean, holy moly. I love it. Jake was saying donate to Josh so he can buy the reference. That was a great shot, right? I mean, this is why like doing the extra time saves you time, because it's like, okay, if I have to show this thing in a squall, yeah, I mean, Dede was just saying you could have a guy flying off that deck. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's this is great stuff. That's great too. So I'm just trying to like build this visual library, and the beauty is I've done this at the thumbnail stage. So when I get to doing thumbnails, it's like I'm not going to have to do as much work. Yeah, and that's what I am doing, Jake. He was like screenshot and paste it, and I'm like 100% doing that. That's why I'm rolling through these. I'm catching good images. All of this is great. So I think I've caught like pretty much every angle this is going to give me, but this is why you just kind of have to trust the process, you know? Yeah. Dede was saying, screenshot everything, Josh. We don't want to have to look for these again. Yeah, 100%. I am so thrilled. All right, ladies and gents. So now let's get into Photoshop and see what we've got. We have a lot of different references. So this is going to be, what was the last one? Okay, that's just the location. Okay, we're going to do boat. Now I'm going to just drag pretty much all of these screenshots. I liked Gary's too. The one that you provided, Gary, the black and white, just for like the way to depict the storm and stuff, is going to be really inspiring. So I'm going to include that too. Hold on. I thought I brought all of these in. Maybe I'm crazy. I should be able to drag all in. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, I see what's happening. It was just lagging. Darn it. Perfect. Okay, so we have dogs flipping out. Jake was saying steal like an artist, 100%. So what I'm doing right now is just compiling every reference I can possibly get. I'm going to then have like a good visual idea of what I'm thumbnailing out, right? And I'm just collecting everything in just vast amounts of layers for each page, you know, so that when it comes to the finals, I don't have to like reinvent the wheel. I'll have plenty of photo reference that's already compiled. So let's see here. What do we have? Lots of screenshots. Okay. I'm gonna try to do this in a way. I feel like my Photoshop is really flipping out here. Okay. So now we're gonna label what we've discovered. Mood, I'm going to call this one. Jake was saying this part for my Catalina project is going to be like hell. Yeah. Although Jake, like, you know, you could always just take like a trip to Long Beach and then just take a boat to Catalina and bring a camera. I guess you could say the same for me. Like, why not just travel to this area? Like, we all have a limitless budget. I'm going to call this boat 1. I'm going to call this boat 2. I'm going to call this boat 3. Boat 4. You know what's cool? I may not even have to look up a 3D model for this boat. Or make a 3D model, which is good. Now, if I was doing a whole graphic novel that took place on this ship, then I'd be like building a 3D model in SketchUp. You know, you do as much research as you need for the thing you need. I might even be overdoing it a bit. Boat 8. I'm going to call this boat 9. Boat 10. Did we already do this one? Because I feel like this accidentally repeated. Nope. Boat 11. Boat interior. I don't even think I'm going to need the interior, but it's pretty cool to have. Boat 12. Yeah, Jake was like, oh, sure, let me spend $4K for a one-way trip across the world and get stuck at an isthmus. And then Gary said, I'm going to be traveling to a location for reference photos, but since it's all set in Arizona, that's not a huge undertaking. Yeah, like I've definitely done that too, where like if I have like a city scene and I'm near the city, but that is one of the beauties of the internet is also, again, if this was like something I was having to draw for more than 2 pages. I would probably, another thing to consider, and we've talked about this before, would be like to buy a toy boat that's like, or like a replica boat that's the same. Now we're repeating, I think. That's where the repeat happened. Okay, let's see what boat 1 was. I'm gonna turn off all these boats. So boat 1 was that. So let's see if we find that repeat. Boat 1 and boat 2. Didn't we already do the underside? I feel like we already did the underside. Maybe not. You know what? I might be crazy. Maybe we didn't do the underside yet. That was just before when we were taking the screenshots. That underside is going to be great, though. Boat base. Boat 16. And boat, let's just call it top. Whew. All right. Gary was saying you really develop a sense of how much you need to know about something to sell it for the amount of time it gets. And then Dede was saying, are you sending us to Amazon now, Josh? And then I think you have, I think you have enough to sell the boat for sure. Yeah, I think we're good on the boat. So yes, one more thing down. So I'm going to save this and we're going to pull back to our research. And we're just going to look up John F. Kennedy still alive. I'm just kidding. Again, just I was making a riff on the do your own research kind of thing. No, I'm gonna let's see here. Let's see what we can find. Okay, we got to go back to the script. Sorry, I got so into digging. Gary, that you're gonna, you know what? One of these days, maybe when I'm not having to like research the stuff, like maybe when it gets to the point of thumbnailing and I'm able to have other people on, because once I'm sketching it out and working out the paces, I think I'll be able to do that. Maybe we could chat, have a talk about like how you limit that, like that part where you're going through, you're researching, and just how do you like stop your brain from being like, oh, but then I can find these details. It is interesting. Okay, so we've got the coast of Devon. Let me double check that we have that. Coast of Devon. We're going to go back to showing our search. I'm going to close out all the extra junk. Jake was saying, I'm fortunate to have all the pictures I need. Now I just need to envision a city with Mediterranean, Spanish, Tuscan, and streamlined modern foundation. Awesome. I'm excited, Jake. Is that the book that you're going to kind of crank out? Like, is that the 1,000 pages? Gary said, yeah, we could go on and on about it. I would pitch it as an art casters, but I'm not sure it has broad appeal. So let's definitely do it on yours sometime. Or we could do it on yours when you start the live streams. Okay. Coast of Devon. Check this out.
Josh, I'm taking Megan store really quick.
Okay. Is Ben gone or?
Oh, he's in the bedroom now. He's
Okay.
playing on his iPad.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
No worries. Okay, Coast of Devon. Okay. This is super helpful. Check this out, guys. This is the seafront during a storm Emma, right? So this area seems, I'm just guessing, maybe I'm crazy, but it seems like this area gets squalls, you know? I'm just seeing if there's any clues. This might just be filler time, but I'm trying to think, like, is there something about the geology or geography of that? Two separate coastlines on the Bristol Channel and the Celtic Sea, and the English Channel to the south. Third largest county. Interesting. So it's like kind of close to, like, I guess, North Cornwall, South Wales. Okay. Main centers for surfing. So that would make sense. They're out doing this thing. Dede said, is the missus working on a children's book now? Working on filler time or Miller time? I think she's heading out to get some food with her sister. But she's always working on kids' books. Like, the crazy thing about Mai is, like, she'll oh, Jake said Southern Britain has the shittiest weather. She'll kind of, like, okay, I don't think we need much more about Devon for this. But yeah, so my wife will she'll have like 4 kids books. Like, this has been the last year where she'll have 4 kids books on her dock. She finishes one, another client hires her, so it's 4 kids books again. She finishes one, another client fires her, or hires her, and it's 4 kids books again. It's like, that's been all year. So it's like she'll sort of cycle through books like that, and just every time she's empty, another one comes, which is cool. Anyone curious about my stuff, to check it out. It's under Mai S. Kemble, MAIS Kemble, on Amazon. She's a super talented kids book artist. But yeah, we've had, like, just a crazy busy but good year, you know. Very blessed. Let's see here. Okay. Costa Devon, I'm throwing that out. I don't think we need much. Maybe this. Just to get again, like, another kind of visual palette thing. So I'm going to call this Devon. Save that. Okay, let's go back to the script, because I think we're good on that. Oh. Script. 2 men. The dogs are all out and about checking stuff. Let's see here. Okay. 2 men of the same age and carefree disposition sit across from him from the prow, enjoying the sea air. So I see what she did here. She took out one of the men. I'm going to confirm with her on that. I'm guessing it just makes a lot more sense to kind of consolidate, so you're not, you know, over. I mean, it can be 2 or 3 men, either way, right? Along with him. That's one of those cases where, hey, like, historical accuracy may not make a lot of sense. Okay, this is a whole other thing. Torquay, England. There we go. Dede said her book, The Moon and the Night Sweeper, looks awesome. Yeah, that was amazing. That was the first kids book she did. And it's awesome. If you can get a hold of a copy, it's a good one. 4K England. The History of Torquay. Oh, my brain. Are you guys seeing this awesomeness? Oh wait, I gotta turn it on again. Okay, are you seeing this awesomeness? This is from the History of Torquay on Wikipedia. Dede said she just bought the last one. That's awesome. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. It's beautifully illustrated. It's really cool. She did an amazing job on that book. I'm liking this too, right? This is going to give us. Are you guys seeing this? This gives us a little bit of a better geography going on there, right? So we're going to do map. Victorian Torquay. Yeah, so that gives us like a really good perspective on like where this is going down. Got to think this isn't that far after the Napoleonic Wars. That's nuts. Dude, okay. Do I need to know all this? No. Although this is fascinating, like Rudyard Kipling was a resident of Torquay in the late 1800s. So it seems like in the 1800s, this seems like a hip area for like writers to be, which makes sense because it's like an oceanside area. It seems like a nice bay kind of setting. 95% of the time? What's 95% of the time? I'm sorry. I don't know what. Did I say something about 95% of the time? Okay. Let's see here. Oh, he was saying I'm drowned with Catalina info I probably won't need. Yeah, but if you're gonna do something in an area, it's good to get a visual picture of it. During this period, Torquay attracted a number of literary talents. During what period? Oh, the 1800s. So check this out. Elizabeth Barrett, like this is in the part of Torquay. Elizabeth Barrett Browning settled in Torquay in 1838 for health reasons. And in the bay, she wrote her literary work De Profundis and The Cry of the Children. Rudyard Kipling lived there. Oscar Wilde. Dude, this is amazing. Okay, I've learned something new today. Torquay is a key area. Agatha Christie was born in the town. Dude, okay, this is cool. So like this guy, okay, just to put this in perspective, what I'm drawing. So this guy is the brother of one of the best poets in English literature. He gets on a boat, right, with friends. Some of them like wealthy. It seems like it's the boat of like a wealthy donor. Not a donor, but like a wealthy friend of theirs who's wealthy enough to own a boat, right? Then you know, the area that he drowns in, like this must have been because Elizabeth Barrett Browning at that point was known for her writing. It was published. And you got to think like this area is just full of writers. Like it's writers and wealthy English people and different like important figures, right? So you think about like the location, right? Torquay. It's this bay area, a seaside area that draws a lot of kind of like the literate class of England to it. And then you have a death of like a sibling of one of the most known writers at the time. That's that. I'm putting this in perspective. So when I draw it, I'm going to be excited about it. But how cool is that? So, and then Dede said, this book is about her, right, Josh? Yes. Yes. This book is about her. But isn't that amazing? I don't know. I just think that's a cool fact to kind of keep in mind that like her brother's dying in this area. That's a very like it's a tourist trap area for like actually a lot of writers live there. So it's like a, you know, this must have been like a huge news event at the time. So it puts it in perspective for me. Okay. We're getting there. There's another good image of Torquay. Very cool. And this is like 8 years before the occurrence. So now we're getting something. Isn't that great? Okay. So, got almost all we need to get drawing. I'm pretty excited. Okay. The last part of this page is this phrase. The tip of the sailboat's mast disappears below the surface of the water and gulls circle overhead. I have one more thing I need to find, right? We got our ship, we got our location, we've got a rough idea of what the location looked like in the time that this happened. So I've got all that covered. I've got Babacombe Bay. I have a rough idea, a much better idea of like the squall, the location of the squall, what the weather is going to be like. I'm getting a picture of this. There's one part of the picture I'm missing. Before I jumped into it, well, Dede's correct. I do need to look up goals. So there's two parts of the picture I need to get. Goals, but what else that would be period important do I need to figure out about? Let's go back. I mean, we couldn't find Edward Bro Barrett, right? We couldn't find, but we've got two men of the same age, of carefree disposition, right, sitting across from him. And then we've got Edward Bro Barrett. What are those people wearing? Now I got to look that up. So I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds and I'm going to hit this research more, but I have no idea what people in that era of time wore when they were boating. Do you? I don't. Now I have to find that out. Because I don't think they're going to just be wearing, like, to me, if I'm going to get on a boat, I'm not just going to go in like a t-shirt and jeans. I'm going to bring boating gear, but I'm also not going to put on like a pirate hat, you know, like it's going to be more complicated than that. So now we got to do some costume research. But we are so close. So first, probably to make it easy, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 20 seconds, but we're going to look up seagulls, which should be super easy to look up. And then we're going to look up costumes. Victorian England, what did people wear when they were riding boats? That actually, oddly enough, should be a little easier to find than this specific boat. So, all right, bear with me, guys. I'm so excited about this, though. It's fun. I only have to do about 20 of these today, 20 of these thumbnails, not like thumbnail pages. So it's going to be a long day. I'm going to do multiple streams, but I'm going to stay on this stream for now and get moving on this. Yeah. Won't they already be in the water in the first scene dying, or did I miss that part? No. So the first scene is, I'm going to reread the page. The sun dapples the bright blue waters of Babacombe Bay. Edward Bro Barrett, 30, brimming with optimism, sits at the helm of a small one-sailed Victorian leisure boat headed toward the coast of Devon. Two men of the same age and carefree disposition sit across from him in the prow, enjoying the sea air. So we're going to have right now we have 3 panels. One is going to be like an overhead shot that's showing this. And this is the part that I'm not sure about the sun, because if there's a squall, I'm not sure how the sun is there. But overhead, it's going to have this beautiful picture. Number 2 is going to have panel number 2 is going to be the shot of Edward Bro Barrett, 30, and she describes him brimming with optimism, sitting at the helm of the ship. So I'm guessing it's going to, to me, I'm already thinking panel 2 probably going to be a little lower shot, like looking up. That's like a mid shot of him where you're going to see his arm kind of holding the whatever it is, like the rudder or whatever of the ship, and it's going to be from the underside, and he's going to be looking kind of proudly forward, and you're going to have air kind of blowing at him. Again, then panel 3 now is going to be it's going to be a wider shot, but a mid shot probably of of the whole boat. We're going to be on the boat at this point, the top of the boat, and we're going to have a shot of all the men kind of chilling on the prow, right? They're just hanging out on the prow, enjoying the sea air. So they're relaxing. And then so that's 3 panels, and then there's going to be a caption that says Torquay, England, 1840. I'm thinking those 2 panels are probably going to be over a wider panel, which is panel 1. That's the establishing shot. Now we're talking a 4th panel where the tip of the sailboat's mast is going to disappear below the surface of the water, right? So at this point, that's now the squall's hit, and it's going to come on like that. And below the surface, so tip of the sailboat's mast is going to disappear below the surface of the water, and gulls are circling overhead. So that's panel 4 or panel 5, maybe a 5th panel. So yeah, there's that. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Okay. I really appreciate the help, my fellow researchers, and I'll be back in like 2 seconds to hit this. We're gonna find the goal and the costumes. Okay, bye.
I'm gonna go change where the hose is.
The hose is.
Change the hose?
Still streaming, by the way. I found the boat, though. Found the boat. Now I have to find costumes and the seagulls. Woohoo!
I'm a farmer. I'm being a farmer with a hoe.
Okay.
I'm being a farmer with a hoe. That's harvesting the crops. Yeah, I'm harvesting the crops.
Okay.
Why are you making the pie?
All right. We're going to do this. So what was it? Goals? Dede just said, now I have an urge to draw a seagull. Yeah, totally. Well, maybe we can find you a good seagull. I'm just going to look. Seagulls circling. Oh my goodness. This is plenty. Now, this is where, like, obviously, like, I could start going on a deep dive of, like, what kind of seagulls. I'm not going to go that deep. I'm just going to find some seagulls. And hopefully, like, a good collection of them just to, like, kind of see how they move. That's pretty good. That's okay. That's a good silhouettes. So let's do that. That's going to be seagull silhouettes. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen. Seagull silhouettes. Maya is singing, I believe that's from Animaniacs. And yeah, I was making commentary while she was doing that, so don't copyright flag this business. All right. Haha, millions of goalers, at least, or millions of goals, at least one closer. looking at you with his eye. This is all Dede said. Just kidding. This isn't the birds. I do like the idea of like some more detailed seagulls though, because this is just giving me a little bit of like dynamism and movement of seagulls. I like the idea of something just a little bit more in focus. Like that's pretty good. Holy moly, that's good. This is from an article that says, "How do I stop seagulls from nesting in my chimney?" You learn a new thing every day. Okay, there we go. That's all we need for seagulls. Seagulls, check. I wish everything was that easy. What did seagulls? Here's the catch, though. What did seagulls look like in Victorian England? All the seagulls are wearing like little top hats and monocles. Okay, so we got our seagulls. What else do we need? Ah, that's right. Victorian men's clothing. That's right. I forgot about that. The seagulls. Stop it now. I said a seagull lands on my head. All right. So here we go. We got our seagulls. Dede said, or nesting in your hair, like seagulls nesting. Okay, I love it. And then one to take the birds out, the other to rinse out the blood. That was Jake. Fair point. Okay, so let's see here. Men's Victorian. By the way, okay, I'm not. This is just me having fun. If I had, have you guys ever seen this website? Dude, if I ever had like tons of money, I would be buying all my clothes from the Historical Emporium. I've come across this place. I remember one time I had this idea of how fun it would be to dress like Jeremy Brett in like Sherlock Holmes era, like do a legit like historic period authentic Sherlock Holmes. And holy moly, that site has like just some rad historical costume. And then Jake said, "Please, no dandies." Come on, being a dandy's great. That's why I'm growing my hair out. I'm getting into the dandy fashion era. But yeah, it's expensive to be a dandy in costume, so I can't. But someday. Okay, when we make our millions off this graphic novel. Okay. So I'm trying to see if there's what should I look for here? Victorian men. I'm gonna just look up boating 1850. See if that leads us anywhere. Yep, there we go. We've got period. I'm just kidding. That's not very period accurate. That would be funny. Oh my gosh, I just thought of the funniest thing. For April Fools, what I should do is send my sister the thumbnail for the first page, and it's like a Miami Vice. So it's like, like it literally has like the Miami Vice, like what are those things called? Like the Sea-Doos or whatever, the sea things that they ride on, like their little sea motorcycles. You have like 4 guys on that. Yeah, a jet ski. Thank you, Mai. So you have like 4 guys riding on that in like Victorian garb. One has like a monocle and then like a wave hits, and then it says, oh my gosh, where's the script? Then it says Torquay, England, 1840. And one of them has like an Uzi that they're firing in the air. Okay. That'll be the other version of this comic. Victorian men boating sportswear. I like that. Victorian men's boating sportswear. Jake was saying, now I want Victorian jet ski battles. Me too. I'm like, that actually sounds like a pretty epic graphic novel. If anyone out there wants to draw a Victorian jet ski battle for me, just for my amusement, that would be awesome. Okay. Gary, get on that case. We need a new alternative history comedy. I just love the idea of like Victorian era men, but for some reason they're like, it's the plot of Miami Vice.
I consider anything that's made out of flake as something that I can chop down using my axe to actually get lit.
Vintage dancer. Victorians men's trouser pants. This is okay. This is like so helpful for this entire book. This is why it's like so good to do this, because I can pull a lot of this stuff for like later on in the story. We're seeing like they have these longer coats. They had a different pleat pattern. I'm really digging the and you have to remember, like, a lot of these are going to be like the extreme. This is like what, you know, supermodels and really wealthy people were wearing. But when you're talking about like renowned, fairly wealthy poets, like Elizabeth Barrett Browning was like, you know, born into like an estate, you know. Part of why it was such a controversy, her marrying Robert Browning, was that you know, he wasn't from like a big title, like, so she ended up getting, this is all good film references, but hey, I'll take it, like Gary was saying, you know. Now none of the guys, like, you're not going to put on like a Victorian like frock like to go on a boat, are you? I mean, when you're gonna so this is the guys right here, this men's coat fashion one on the right, that's the guys on the jet ski that I was talking about. That would be the people. I gotta say, I do wish like rad, like, I don't like the fashions from this era, but I gotta say, like, the pants, like guys wearing, you know, some plaid pants, that's pretty badass. You gotta like that. Also, look at one of the benefits of doing research. That in its own, like, do you see that FB, like the type on that F, B, and H? That might help me in coming up with some title sequences. Okay, we got men's coats. So you guys, this is like the casual wear, right? Okay. I still haven't found anything like boating wise, but again, I'm going to be drawing a lot of stuff like evening coats, crazy Victorian villas. This book's going to be an undertaking, man. Look at that. Waistcoats and vests. Higher fastening of coats. Okay. apparently back in the Victorian times, like men had a waist that was thinner than their heads. I didn't know this. I guess human beings have changed. You need to name the yacht, so I propose Seabiscuit. I love it, but the problem is we found the name of the yacht as we were doing this. It was called, what was it? Does anybody remember? I have it written down so that I wrote it down in my diary so I wouldn't have to remember. Okay. La Belle Sauvage. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. I'm a Californian. This is going to get... I know this seems like a detraction. Just look like taking tons of screenshots of these different men's fashions. Oh, I think Gary might have sent me something. Holy moly. Gary, you're a genius. Look at that. Look at that. Gary. Gary, I was going to do like a kid's nursery rhyme. Yeah, I'm pulling it up and I'm stealing it. And this one I actually think might be a keeper. So that's pretty good. Gary, that's the guy we need on the jet ski too. You see that dude's monocle? That's the one that's holding the Uzi. All right. Enough of this silliness. We're doing serious fare here, you guys. Look at that. Men's Victorian shirts. Do you see that one that actually has like a little C imprint on it? That might be more of like the kind of territory too. In fact, that one I might throw on here too, just as like a maybe. Oh my gosh, look at this, gents. An ad for linen collars, puffs, neckwear. I also have sorry, I know there's a lot of dogs. Jake was saying Gary the Lifeline, 100%. So I have a Sears catalog from like the 1800s too, like a reprint. It's really cool. I use it all the time for like reference of typography and stuff. Okay, so this is all gentlemanly clothing, but I mean, like that stuff is very valuable for the entire book, not just for this this one thumbnail. Like this is a really good resource. Because again, when you're drawing like background characters and stuff, and you're like, what kind of shoe are they wearing? It's like, it's good to have a couple of those. Okay, here's like bicycle stuff. Okay. Now I do think that let's see. Now we're going to find a bunch of stuff. I don't think I mean, these are upper class guys, so I think it's probably more equivalent to some of the stuff Gary was showing. I think that's pretty good because I do think there's one guy on the ship who's like a C. I'm not going to say it. I almost said it. I almost said that he was a man of the sea, but in the reverse order, which could be easily clipped out of context. Here we go. Look at that. This is I mean, that's great reference. Do you see that? It's like Victorian black and white story illustration, group of men in rough seas. Isn't that amazing? That I don't think is the right thing, just for some reason. I have a feeling they're not in the military at this time. There's another one that's like kind of more like, it's got those straw hats. It's pretty good. Put that in there. I'm gonna actually grab. Hold on a sec. We're gonna grab that. We're gonna grab this. Let's see. This one's great, right? Although I gotta say, what's going on with this person's shoulder? Just saying. It's an interesting shoulder. Are you guys hanging in there? I hope this is interesting. I think it's helpful and fun to kind of find this stuff. I still feel like I want like one or two more things. That's the reference Gary provided. That's really good. Did I throw that in here? I better have. Yeah, 100%. Jake was saying, Victorians are built different. Wouldn't it be funny? Like, okay. We're almost there, guys. I think we almost have enough. Because now I have like some stuff from a clothing catalog. That's a Victorian clothing catalog. I actually do have a Sears catalog from that time that I'm probably going to get from my room and just thumb through real quick too. Because maybe they had a swimming section. And in that case, that can help me pick some clothes. It does seem like it's interesting because it does seem like the straw hat does seem like the common kind of like, hey, I'm out, for like it's like the baseball cap at the time, see if we can find where I put that. Oh, come on. Thought I threw it in there. Let's try that again. Why is this a maddening thing here? Okay, here we go. So it seems like that's the casual wear a little bit, is like the straw hat. We're going to get there. I want to see if there's anything else, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Oh, dude, this is so cool. That's just good for like a tumultuous sea kind of picture. There we go. Victorians were built different. Dislocated shoulders, small waistlines, just built different. I love the idea that you'd physically go back in time and you'd see the artists are actually like dead on, like totally realistic in their interpretation, and that people were just strange anomalies of human beings at the time. It'd be like you know that meme painting where that woman painted over, like it was like a person at a church who wanted to restore like a traditional painting that had dated back to like the medieval era of like Christ and his face. And then they painted over it and just made it into like a 4-year-old's bad drawing of a face. Imagine that, but then you meet the person and their face is that warped and distorted in real life, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, the dollar store Jesus. Imagine meeting, but like you meet that person who did that change, and that's actually what they look like. That would be amazing. You go to like that region and it's like everybody just looks like that that painting. Anyhow, we're really close. I'm feeling pretty comfortable about it. See, this is more like poor Americans at the time. This is good. Look at that. That's very good. Oh, come on. That's good though. I like that. I'm gonna do. Oh, come on. I didn't want the full. I want just the small screen cap. I just like that more casual gray suit that guy's wearing. Let's see. We're almost there, guys. I think once I have all this stuff assembled, I might take like a brief break and just get like some water and some food. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think Monet. I mean, I should have thought Monet. That's sort of, and again, there's that straw hat, right? But I mean, that makes perfect sense. I'm guessing in a Squall, though, you're not going to be kind of in like a light shirt. We're almost there. At this point, I'm just kind of filling the coffers with like more than I need, but that will be extremely helpful. Look at this nefarious forward man. Do you see that image? How could he lean forward? Without a chaperone, too. My goodness. Shocking. The shocking times. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. That is just utterly shocking. But I kind of feel like I might have a guy in a bowler cap in a similar costume. I think we're pretty much set. All right, I think we're good. Let's cross check that we've got everything we need. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our main thing here. And thank you, Gary. Gary's like really helped out a lot too with finding some cool images. So thank you, Gary, very much. I think we're in pretty good shape. We're about ready to get into the meat and potatoes of things. And I think I'm thinking of meat and potatoes because I need to take a break and have some water and maybe a snack. Yeah, I think we're in pretty darn good shape. Let me double check that we've got everything. Okay, I'm going to pull up the script now. Okay, so let's read it and make sure we have everything we need. The sun dapples the bright blue waters of Babbacombe Bay. Okay, check. Edward Bro Barrett So here's what I'm thinking. This is going to be Edward's friend's costume. I feel like Edward... I like the idea of Edward wearing this. I'm going to call this Edward costume. I'm going to call this just sinking ref. Just an, aside from that dislocated shoulder, it's a pretty good reference. And I'm sure if you look carefully at my work, there's other, it's color, Dede. It's, let's see if I can find, I'll find this. So our pitch was executed like this. So it's like very minimal color. Here, I'm going to pull it up. So this was the pitch, and originally the format was different. Originally we were pitching it as like 8.5 by 11, but it's more cost effective for them to do it at 7 by 10. So we're doing it at 7 by 10. But the whole thing's going to be executed in this way. So it's very loose, kind of like rendery style. Right now I'm just trying to get the thumbnails and the research prepped so that when it gets to the final, that'll work. And then I love Jake's joke. He said, Edward sailor hands. Let's see here. I think this will be... I like the dude on the left. I kind of like the golfer cap and the formal thing and the funny mustache. So this might be like Friends 1. Sinking Edward. This is just going to be Stormy C. This is going to be just a better hat reference. Better hat. What kind of hat? Straw. This is going to be Friends 2. Let's see what else we got here. This is just going to be, you know what? I liked this. This will be helpful for future stuff, just to see pleating patterns and cuts.
What?
Ben, calm down.
Okay, and I think something broke, so hang on a second. Let me pick it up.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
I got it. Yeah. I filled it all. Actually, don't worry about it.
Okay, so there's this will be Friends 2 or 3. And I think we're in good shape. Okay, let's read through that again. We got everything. Sun dabbles through the bright blue waters of Babacombe Bay. Edward Bro Barrett, 30, brimming with optimism, sits at the helm of a small one-sailed Victorian leisure boat. We've got the boat. We know we're going to have to invent Edward. I'm probably going to look at Elizabeth and just kind of approximate what her brother might or might have not looked like. And I'm guessing he's going to look like a man from that era. So most likely he's going to have some facial hair. It'll probably be very manicured, like most men at the time. Even if they had beards, they always did something weird with their beard. Like they never just grew like well, there's some dudes that grew full beards, but most of them would do these kind of trimmed, very like regal beards or mustaches. So I don't know. We'll kind of invent that. Like I know Robert Browning had like had one of those beards. Brimming with optimism, 2 men. Okay. Sits at the helm of a small one-sailed Victorian leisure boat. We found the boat. We realized it's going to be a racing boat. Thank you, Gary, for helping with that. Headed towards the coast of Devon. We know where that is. We've got a good location. 2 men of the same age and carefree disposition sat across from him on the prow, enjoying the sea air. Now it's like I know what those guys are going to be wearing. I have a rough idea of each of those guys. Caption, Torquay, England, 1840. And I know what Torquay, England kind of looks like. And I have a rough idea, just a rough approximation of where they are on the map. So that's good. The tip of the sailboat's mast disappears below the surface of the water. That's going to be fun to draw. And I think we have like a really good image, a set of images that where I can approximate what that's going to look like. And then goal circle overhead. And we have all our seagull references. So all our references are ready. It only took... It only took 3.5 hours to get there. So, of course, I can do 200 and something pages of this in a year. Anyhow, so I'm going to wrap the first. Oh, and Dede said, don't forget the goals. I shan't. They are probably the most important thing. But whoop, progress. Thank you, Dede. Thanks for the super chat too. I really appreciate the support and stuff like that. And I'm going to be live streaming probably late into the early morning. So, you know, if you guys are around, feel free to hop on. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure you're subscribed. You've hit the bell. You've hit the follow and stuff. So that, subscribe, bell, all of that, so that you can catch these as they're about to go live. Because I'm going to be working on this like a lunatic for the next year. So that being said, another way, oh my goodness, Dede, too much. I love it. Thank you so much. Dede donated another $10. I appreciate that to get me another coffee. I will be seeing you guys again, like probably in about like, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something. I'm going to start another live stream. So I more than welcome and appreciate you guys hanging out and your I appreciate your sharing and all that stuff. And I also appreciate the help in researching. And hopefully this gives you a window into like how fun historical fiction can be, how fun doing research for books and stuff can be. And yeah, like Gary said, progress. So we're getting there, but I will see you guys probably, back after a while. Exactly, Dede. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet, pick up, make sure you've pre-ordered Jacob's Apartment or that you go to your local bookstore. Next time you're at a bookshop, just ask them like, hey, can you carry this book? It's a brilliant book. Like just tell them it's brilliant. But it is a good book and I'm proud of it. And if you're a fan of like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Ghost World, like it'll be up your alley. Jacob's Apartment from, graphic novel I made coming out from Graphic Mundi, this June. And then also, buy 2 stories like today. Like if you haven't yet, pick up a copy of 2 stories. It's my graphic novel about faith and mental illness. That's hand lettered, hand inked, and will be handed to you tomorrow, like basically if you order it. So go pre-order this, or not pre-order it, order it, buy it on Amazon or indie friendly bookshops. So that will do it. And that'll do it for the first session of working on Not Death But Love. And here, let me read the full title, because I do think the full title is great and I need to memorize it. So I might as well read through it. Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Written by my sister, Lavender Vroman, and it says created by Lavender Vroman and Joshua Kemble. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will be right back, and we're going to start the thumbnailing process, hopefully. And hopefully I won't let the intimidation of the whole thing take away from the carving at it. And then Dede said it was fun, Josh. Thank you. And then Gary said, yes, this will either show people it's fun or show them that they never, ever want to do historical fiction. All right. And here's the irony. No matter what, they're going to be like, that wasn't the boat. That's not the right location, but at least we're doing some due diligence to like make the world feel real. And that's what matters to me. I don't mind being like a little off, but I want to do my due diligence to try to be as close as I can. All right. have a good night, guys. Did I say night? I really do need a break. I'll be back streaming again, so make sure you're subscribed, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one in about 10-20 minutes. Bye.